You're listening to the Ballroom Network. The following program is intended for all audiences. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Goon Podcast with your hosts, Joe Mandel, the Goon, John Santucci, the Tooch, and the man with the plan, Adam Shaw. We're bringing you the fantasy football knowledge that you need every single week.
Derrick Henry still going. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown. Only Mahomes turns what might have been a 15-yard sack into a 27-yard touchdown.
Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, stayed in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards for his first NFL touchdown. McCaffrey right up the middle, and he is gone for the touchdown. 58 yards. This is to Thomas. He's gone. Touchdown Saints.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job, the cut. Now, while I wasn't able to cut everyone I wanted to, I have cut a lot of you. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you. Congratulations, the rest of you made the team. Except you and you.
God bless fantasy football. There are many things a man can do with his time. And this, better than those things.
All right, Fantasy Football Goon on the Barroom Network. Got Tooch, got Papa Bear, Adam Sham here. Look, it's championship week, would you say, for most leagues around the country?
It is for me.
Right. You're looking at a championship in a couple leagues, I think, right? Playing in 2 leagues championships, right?
Playing in 3 today. I'm playing
3
in
today.
the 2 I'm in with you and also in my home league here with my friends.
So very successful season for you. I'm playing for 3rd place in the big money league, which would be, a free get my membership fee back, which was a large sum.
Right, that's a good winning.
Good win. I'm in good position. I had a huge day yesterday from T. Higgins, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. It was
I
questionable.
escaped that one last week.
Right, exactly. With the I had bounced back and forth because he's always injured, but he seems to show up and
he was questionable going into that game even.
Yep, and there's the whole thing on X with him running that little hill. How does he look running up that little hill out at the Bengals facility? As he's walking out of the facility out onto the practice field, there's a little hill.
Yeah.
There's that. So I'm in good position, I think, to take it home to get 3rd place in that league with a 7-7 season record. So
right.
I'll take it. I want to ask you, which players do you think are on the most championship rosters, if you had to guess? Because I don't know the answer, honestly. To be honest with you, I don't know the answer.
I would have to guess Saquon Barkley and Jamar Chase would probably be the 2 most common. I would
Josh Allen, I would add in there, maybe Lamar Jackson. Yep, Saquon. Probably. I'm with you on this. Looking towards next year, top picks next year. Jamar Chase probably at wide receiver. Running back, probably Saquon again, maybe. Yeah. Quarterback, Josh Allen, man, he really put up points this year, which I know quarterbacks aren't usually chosen in the first round, but, man, I think he'd be an awfully tempting to me, he's a different level fantasy quarterback.
I think Lamar's right there with him, but that's the only other one. I think Josh Allen and Lamar are kind of a tier above everyone else at this point because of their running ability. And Josh Allen, honestly, Josh Allen scores way more touchdowns with his legs than Lamar does. Lamar just makes more yardage, but Josh Allen gets the touchdowns.
And he throws more touchdowns, arguably, too. I'm curious. I mean, he kind of did it this year without a lot of names on offense as well. If the Bills are to add some, Goon says Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow over 4,000 yards again and 48 touchdowns. I think something like that. 42 touchdowns. He's got over 40 touchdowns. So I mean, Joe Burrow.
I think he had 39 going into last night, so he should have 42
He's
or
at 42
now.
Right.
Yeah,
he's at 4,200 yards, 42 touchdowns, low amount of interceptions. So very good weapons. It'll be a different year with him. Arguably, T. Higgins probably not back with the team next year as he as a free agent, and depends on if the Bengals want to spend for T. Higgins. He looked good in the Bears uniform, to be honest.
Heck yeah, I've been wanting him for a couple of years. I've been saying they should be luring him out of there.
Yep. There's not much we can do.
It's just the injury concern, like you said. It's just every season if there's nagging injuries
with Joe Burrow. Yeah, and I don't think he's a first-round pick, but I mean, it's third, fourth-round pick when quarterbacks start coming off the board. But I would, especially in Guillotine League, I would pick Josh Allen in the first round because you're looking at 25 to 30 points, in most leagues a week with this guy. So 20 to 30 points.
I mean, I'm generally a late quarterback drafter in barroom. Right. I took Josh Allen with I think my third pick this year, and it's worked out nicely. I've scored the most points by far.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I would love to see what the Bills can do with if they were to sign someone like T. Higgins. If they draft somebody.
I don't really understand how they got Amari Cooper and he's done absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like,
you know what? When you said that, I had forgotten that he was there.
Exactly. I mean, he's barely caught like one pass a game basically, and it's like completely worth nothing. I don't even get it.
I think you take the Colts D here. What do you think?
Oh man, I mean, if you got the Eagles D, I think you got to ride that out. But if you didn't have the Eagles D, the Colts D are pretty much the top streaming play, I think, this week. But Eagles D are tops, and the Cowboys are without CD Lamb. So you're talking about Cooper Rush without his best receiver.
Yeah. It's just that the Eagles, without Jalen Hurts, maybe their offense doesn't spend as much time on the field,
That's true.
Defense is out there a little bit longer, but I don't think you go wrong either way. I think the Cowboys are capable of putting up more points than the Giants today, if I were to say. So for me, I would be Colts defense.
Yeah, going against the Giants has worked for weeks now.
7 points against the Cardinals defense, which is trash. The Cardinals had 2 pick sixes against the Giants. I mean, the Giants have completely packed it in. The coaching staff is gone. They have the number 1 overall pick. There's really nothing for them to play for. I mean, they're arguably in tank mode.
True.
Let's just talk a little bit about some quarterbacks. Do you know yours off the top? I didn't have time to put banners in. That's my fault. I'm just so busy today. We should have had Joe. We should have had Joe do it for us.
Baker Mayfield a lot today. Versus Carolina. I think Jared
Panthers
Goff
defense has played better lately.
What's that?
The Panthers defense has been arguably a little bit better,
Yeah, they have. But Baker
okay.
Mayfield, Tampa needs it bad, and I think Baker's not afraid to keep slinging it, even if something goes wrong early. He's going to keep it up, and so I think that's a great matchup there. I like Jared Goff against San Francisco on Monday as well. And Jaden Daniels, I've been saying it all season. He's the league winner. I'm playing him. I'm hoping he's going to win me the Goon League championship. I hope. I'm playing him.
Yeah, I know. Aaron Current was saying that you had a choice between Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels, and really, those were the guys that you drafted.
Yep,
that's amazing. Well, I mean, when you drafted Jaden Daniels, he was kind of like, "What's he going to do?" An unknown commodity at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. So I think I got him in like the 10th round or so.
10th round pick,
yeah. He was a late pick that, like I said, I had a feeling with his legs and his passing ability, he would be a good player down the stretch. And turns out he was a good player all along the whole season. I thought it would be late in the year, but
playing
he was
against
great
the
pretty
Falcons
much immediately
defense.
for fantasy.
Yep, Falcons defense. today.
Yeah, I've got him on both of those teams. I'm playing him on the one team, and I think in Barroom, I think I'm gonna stick with Josh Allen today, though.
Yeah. And you have Jared Goff at San Francisco.
Yeah, I like Goff, and like you said, Jaden Daniels versus Atlanta defense is a great matchup. As long as the weather's not terrible, I think that's going to be a really good matchup.
I also have Baker Mayfield versus the Panthers. Then I got Vikings and Packers quarterbacks against each other.
I like those too.
Yeah, Jordan Love I like today. I think a good chance to go over 300 yards today versus the Vikings. That's going to be a hell of a game. It's probably the best game on the schedule as far as like what games you want to watch.
Right, yeah, it's an afternoon game.
That line, the game is flexed to an afternoon start. The line has gone from -1 to +1 now, Packers +1. And Sam Darnold capable of putting up some points with his talented group of skill position players. Jordan Love also has a bunch of nice skill position players to throw to. Other than that, I mean, you have Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, you're starting. The weather up in New York might put a little bit of a damper on that scoring in the Bills-Jets game today. It's arguably going to be windy, rainy today. So I think it was a good call for you to go with Jaden Daniels today in that one. At least you're guaranteed probably around 20 to 30 points, 20 to 25 points. Safe floor. Josh Allen might get a couple. When they get down to the goal line, Josh Allen is going to run it in.
I think he's going to run quite a bit today.
Yeah. Yep. The Jets, a really good team versus running quarterbacks, though. They're one of the top in the NFL. Let me just get back here. I have some stuff going on there. Okay, I'm going to close this. Yeah, I want to get some of my fantasy notes up. Okay, pulling that up. Let's see, where was I? For running backs, let's talk about what you got for running backs.
On running backs, I love Bucky Irving today versus Carolina as well in that same matchup. We talked about Baker Mayfield. I like James Cook now with that weather coming in versus the Jets. I think they'll lean on the running game a little more.
Yep.
And who else do I have?
Yeah, Jerome Ford.
Yeah, Jerome Ford, actually somebody I like a lot, yeah.
Yeah, strictly as a amount of touches he's going to get today. I love that pick. I think he's in mine as well.
Yeah, and he's a guy that can break one too. He just takes one good one and makes it after 3 yards carry for 20 times. He gets 150-yarder and makes it all worth it. But yeah, versus Miami, Miami's without Tua, so it might be a little more competitive than it would have been originally. So Jerome Ford might even see more touches than that. So he's been good the last couple of weeks since Chubb's been out.
And then you got Jonathan Taylor versus the Giants.
Oh yeah, I love that. Obviously,
so I had a parlay I played last week that I cashed out. It was a good thing I did because I came up 6 yards short. But it was 3 or 4 players, 100 yards plus a touchdown. It was a perfect week to do it too. Saquon Barkley, 100 yards plus a touchdown.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, 100 yards plus a touchdown. Devin A. Chain, 100 yards plus a touchdown. I forgot who the fourth one was. But I got down to Bijan, and I'm like, halftime, he's got 48 yards. Is he going to get he finished with 94, so it was a good thing I cashed out. But, man, it was like a $5 bet that would pay up to like $500, $250 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. But and I'm like, let's just do 100-yard rushers, touchdowns, and focus on that. And that was a perfect week to do it. I would do that with Jonathan Taylor again this week.
Yeah.
100 yards plus a touchdown. I think pretty good goal right there.
I can't believe I was going against him last week in my league here at home.
Dropped one touchdown, right? Fumble.
That was 2 weeks ago. Last week when he scored 47 points, he scored 3 touchdowns and 200-something yards. And I survived it, though, by a half a point. I won by 0.4 points.
Unreal.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Real. All right, we've got a question real quick before I do mine. Shakir or Dobbs? That's tough.
I'll
Man,
probably go Shakir.
I have no idea, man. The weather scares me a little bit in that game. I think there'll be less passing.
But
Romeo
gets a
Dobbs,
lot of short ones.
he gets a lot of short ones.
He's got
and
the
Romeo
highest
Dobbs,
completion percentage of any receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Romeo
Dobbs is timeshare wide receiver.
The Packers receivers, you never know.
It's roulette. Yeah, give me Shakir. I would look on the waiver wire though. A guy I would look for is like Jalen McMillan of the Buccaneers. I think he's got a really great matchup today. Look at his last 3 weeks, McMillan.
Yeah,
good. He's been like 17 points, 20 points. He's had 4 touchdowns the last 3 weeks. But yeah, for me it'd be Shakir if it's just those two. My running backs, I got Bucky Irving also and Jerome Ford. I also got Breece Hall against the Bills. The Bills give up a lot of points to the running back, especially in receiving yards. So I like Breece Hall to go over his receiving yards as well today if you're playing props. Breece Hall versus the Bills, I think, is a decent start today. If the weather is going to be a factor, you could look for some running back dump offs today, man. He might have 7 catches today.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Tight end starts for Adam. You know what they are offhand?
Tight ends, I did not remember off the top of my head right now.
There's
so many games I've already played. It was kind of tough this week.
I know
Kittle obviously, and I like Hawkinson. I think versus
I love George Kittle. I wanted the Bears to draft him. I love when he goes like Duke. His little when he makes a first down. I love it.
He's always fun to watch, man.
Yeah,
he's so good, complete player, man.
Phenomenal athlete. And then you got Chig, who's been getting like 11 targets a game.
Yeah, and a great matchup versus Jacksonville today, and Mason Rudolph's been peppering him. Yeah, so love that matchup. Chig's just a very good player. And he's still on waiver wire. So if you're desperate,
I picked him up too.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he's out there with the tight end landscape,
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
And then you got Hawkinson.
Yeah, like you said, I like that game to possibly go back and forth, and there would be a lot of yardage and points there possibly. And
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Also, like Hawkinson anytime touchdown today.
Yeah,
good money on that value. I think it's like plus 140 or plus 180, something like that, for an anytime touchdown with Hawkinson. I have. Let me see. I got Hawkinson also and Chig. And Jonnu Smith versus the Browns. I mean, look, Jonnu Smith has been fantastic. Now, Tua's questionable for this game, I think. Is there any report that he's going to play?
Out. He's out.
Is he out? Okay.
Yeah.
So that might change.
Jonnu was actually pretty good whenever Tua was out. That's kind of when Jonnu got started his hot streak, was the last couple games without Tua.
Get a little NFL injury update. NFL inactives. Week 17. Let's just run through this. Wait a minute. Anthony Richardson is out?
Yeah, Joe Flacco's starting.
Unreal. Wow. I really liked Richardson today.
Who is not expected to play.
Unreal.
Neither is Jalen Waddle.
Okay, Anthony Richardson out, folks. Did not see that coming. Let's look at the Raiders. Saints. Nobody really there. Saints. Wide receiver Mason Tipton, Alvin Kamara out for the Saints. Of course, you probably knew that. Quarterback Derek Carr out. Panthers Bucks. Panthers cornerback J.C. Horn out, arguably their best cornerback. Man, I gotta get some Mike Evans props. He needs like 100 and something yards for his 1,000-yard season, I think, or something. Yep.
Yeah.
Buccaneers out. Tight end Cade Otton, wide receiver Sterling Shepard. So Cade Otton, that's a pretty big out. He's been out for a while though, I think. Jaguars Titans. Tony Pollard out. Little Tajay Spears I have in my starts, or at least what do you call it? Sleeper picks. Jaguars out, nobody of consequence. Jets, Bills. Jets kicker Anders Carlson out. Bills out. Curtis Samuel out. Cowboys, Eagles. You mentioned Jalen Hurts. Quarterback Ian Book out. 270's Kenny Pickett getting the start. For the Cowboys, of course, we mentioned CD Lamb is out. If you have him in your lineup, please, you should probably, put someone else in. Browns out. David Njoku and wide receiver Cedric Tillman out for the Browns. Packers out. Jerry Alexander out for that changes that's why the line flipped, the Packers +1 now. That's their best cornerback.
He's been in and out a lot.
Wow. And that's it. All right. We're on my tight ends. Had Chig, Hawkinson, and Jonnu. Let's head over to your wide receivers.
All right. Let me see.
You have Mike Evans, Scary Terry, and Juwan Jennings.
There you go. Evans, like you said, he's chasing that number again, and obviously a great matchup for him. And then Terry McLaurin, man, he's been just so underrated in my opinion. He's top 5 receiver on the season in most leagues. After like the first couple of weeks, him and Jake Daniels have just been on the same page all year.
Yeah.
He's got, I think he might have double-digit touchdowns now. He's close to it, I know. He's got like 6 touchdowns the last 4 weeks, I think. Terry McLaurin, just a fantastic matchup for tonight versus Atlanta. Hopefully he might win you the championship tonight, him and Jaden Daniels, I hope. And then Juwan Jennings, on Monday night versus Detroit, I think they should probably be playing from behind most of that game and passing a lot. And Purdy loves Juwan Jennings, so I think he gets a lot of targets tomorrow night. And especially in PPR league, I think he's going to be a really good play.
Very good. I have for wide receivers, I got Scary Terry also. I'm gonna go with Jordan Addison, man, on the Vikings. I mean, he's been lighting it up.
Fire lately, yeah.
Lighting it up. And now Jerry Alexander's out. Come on.
Yeah,
probably be focusing some attention on Justin Jefferson, as the teams usually do, which is going to probably give Jordan Addison some favorable matchups. And then Brian Thomas Jr., Adam, who's got a really nice matchup today against that banged-up Titans secondary.
Yeah.
He's had terrible quarterback play. But you know what? It doesn't matter with this kid. I think he's a really good player. I wanted him over Rome Odunze. I argued about it with people in the bar room. I'm like, dude, SEC over Pac-10, give me an LSU wide receiver. This dude is 6'4", 6'5", and runs a 4.29 40. Look at in the SEC is getting 5 yards of separation. He's doing it in the NFL against NFL DBs.
Yeah.
He's turned out to be a good red zone threat as well. He's arguably going to go over 1,000 yards this season if he has a couple good games here at the end. And I also like Ladd McConkey as well. That's a guy that went over 1,000 yards. Would you rather have any of those guys over Rome?
I mean,
I know you're a homer.
If you just look right now in a snapshot, yeah, sure, I'll take Brian Thomas Jr., but I still think Rome has every bit of potential that Brian Thomas Jr. has. I think we just got to get the right coaching system in there for Caleb and him. And I mean, there's been so many just missed plays this year they've made some great plays, but there's been so many just missed plays by just a yard here or there that they're going to get that worked out. And,
the offensive scheme has been terrible, to be honest.
Yeah. I love Rome's attitude. I love when he talks.
Yeah.
He just sounds so positive.
Good kid. Yep.
So much
him and Caleb, both
in
good kids. Yep.
Yeah. He just exudes
the
confidence.
hate that Caleb Williams gets is beyond me, though,
Right.
The national media, even the Bears fans who are like, he's the biggest bust ever. Dude, you do not know what you're looking at. There was a play against the Seahawks where he was rolling to his right and hit Rome in the end zone that was nullified by a penalty.
Yeah.
But not a lot of quarterbacks.
Caleb's stats are
rolling to his left.
Yeah, his stats are pretty good. I mean, his completion percentage could be better. And, he needs to work on a lot of things. But Like, his stats are pretty good.
105 years of Bears football. He's putting together the 5th best season by a Bears quarterback in Bears history, and doing it in his rookie season after losing his coach, losing his offensive coordinator. I mean, arguably the season, for all the planning the Bears did to set the runway for Caleb Williams, it was a disaster. Nothing went right, and the kid has handled the media well. He's played decently. His escapability in the pocket is fantastic. In and out of the pocket, fantastic.
He went basically 10 games without throwing an interception, basically, till that very end of that game the other night, just out of desperation.
Yeah, and a last second throw. His coaching staff let him down. We could have tied that game if we would have had some better clock management and play calling at the end there. It was 3rd and 20. They called a 2-yard crossing pattern. And they had zero faith in the kicker to hit a 55-yard field goal. Why is the kicker on the roster if you can't trust him to hit from 55? Other NFL teams have kickers that with the leg to do it. I don't care how accurate Carlos Santos is. You still need to hit the long distance shots. So I think the Bears are going to have to upgrade at kicker very soon, so we don't go through this. I mean, especially in our division where all 3 other teams in the NFC North are playoff teams.
Yeah, it's like every other team in the league's like, we got to get to the 40-yard line, and the Bears are like, we got to get to the 30-yard line. Before we can
exactly.
Like, oh god,
exactly. We got to get to the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
All right. We just did wide receivers. Let's talk a little defensive special teams. You got the Raiders, the Colts, and the Bills.
Yeah, we talked about the Colts a minute ago versus the Giants. Love that matchup. Everybody's been feasting on the Giants right now because, like you said, they're pretty much packed it in on.
Yep. Two defensive touchdowns for the Falcons last week against the Giants.
Yeah, and I like the Raiders. Raiders have been putting up some points in fantasy the last few weeks. They've got a good matchup today. I mean, I hate to say I'm playing the Colts and the Raiders and stuff in the fantasy championships, but it's all about the matchups. You just got to play. You got to play who they're going against. So. Who was the other one? Oh, the Bills versus the Jets. Yeah, I like that weather, with that weather and everything. Aaron Rodgers has been kind of banged up. Javonte Adams has been banged up. I think they're mostly just playing because Aaron Rodgers is on the verge of his 500th touchdown. They're going to try to force that to him, and then who knows if they can finish that game, to be honest. But I like the Bills' defense for those reasons. I mean, the Jets' offense is not that great. Like you said, they're going to have to rely on Breece Hall a lot today. So I like the Bills' chances for a turnover.
I normally with both these teams are over teams, but because of the weather, I think it'll be a little more of an under game for the Jets and Bills. For my defensive special teams, I also have the Colts. I also have the Raiders. I like the Dolphins versus the Browns and DTR. I think I forgot who played. I think it was the Bengals defense played them last week. Was it Bengals?
Against who?
The Browns.
The Browns, yeah, I think so, yeah.
So they didn't put up much points versus the Bengals defense,
Yeah, I didn't even mention the Raiders because they're playing the Saints on Monday night, and it's Spencer Rattler. We saw the Packers shut them out.
Yeah, they were playing. They were playing on Monday night. Now they got the Raiders. Raiders defense has arguably been pretty underrated this year. It's one thing that's been,
especially lately, the last month or so. And there's no Alvin Kamara, there's no Derek Carr. They've got Spencer Rattler playing.
Yep,
the Packers shut them out the other night.
Big old goose egg. Sleepers for Adam. You know yours, right?
I don't remember them at all.
You got Raheem Blackshear, Jalen McMillan, and Jordan Love.
Yeah, well, the bottom two we've already mentioned. Jalen McMillan, I think, he's in a great position there. He's kind of taking over that Chris Godwin role. Kind of be surprised to see if they pay Chris Godwin after seeing how good Jalen McMillan is already.
So I went when I was doing mock drafts. I had the Bears taking like offensive, defensive line with the Roma Dunze pick and going next, grabbing Jalen McMillan later.
Yeah, that was they played together, right? Is they from?
Yep,
was
both
from
played at Washington. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That guy Raheem Blackshear, I just mentioned him. If you're a Chuba Hubbard owner and some of these games have already passed by and you're in a tight spot, he's going to be the backup. Chuba Hubbard's out. Put on.
Is
IR.
He out today?
He's on IR. He's done.
I did not know that. He wasn't listed in that thing though.
Yeah, Chuba. No, they put him on IR. He's done. So Blackshear is going to be the running back there in Carolina today versus Tampa. So I'm not saying you're going to get a whole lot out of him, but if you're
because Tampa Bay's defense run defense has been top 5 in the last half of the season.
Yeah, they have a great run defense, so it's tough. But if that's your only option, that's going to be the guy. So just keep an eye on that if you're in the Chuba Hubbard plan there that failed you on the last minute here. Yeah, it's been rough this week with, losing Jalen Hurts, Chuba Hubbard. Somebody else big is out this week. Just CD Lambs went out. There's been just big losses this week for the championship, but all guys that have kind of had nagging injuries and stuff that kind of seen coming. But CD Lamb's so much respect for CD Lamb the last few weeks. He's been playing through some major pain out there.
Yep, agreed. Who do you think will fill that void
today for them? Probably Tolbert, I would guess. I don't know. Tolbert.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Cooks. But that rookie Turpin, man, that guy is fast, and they've been trying to get him involved more. He returns the kicks. And
he's in that kind of Xavier-worthy role, right?
Yeah, they've been getting a few runs and ins around there, so you just don't know there. That's why I kind of told that guy earlier, play the Philly defense, I think, because I think it's kind of going to be a hodgepodge there, and nobody's going to be able to dominate like CD can.
I don't see
Rico Dowdle probably going to benefit the most.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough, though. I mean, that Philly defense against the run is no joke. You cannot run on them. And last week, Rico didn't do anything against the Bucs, right? Was it the Buccaneers last week?
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing again. He had like 21 yards rushing, I think, last week. But if you're going to beat the Eagles,
be a lot of Ferguson targets.
Exactly. I would say you hit the tight end. Tight end Cooper Rush, Jake Ferguson. I believe Ferguson is still playing.
I think so.
I forget what the other guy was that you were high on that took his place. What was the other guy? The other tight end while Ferguson was out. That dude played pretty good.
Schoonmaker,
Luke Schoonmaker. Yeah. I don't know who's starting today, but
I'd already forgot about him too.
Yeah, Luke Schoonmaker. All right, my sleeper starts. I'm going to go with Joe Flacco versus the Giants.
Yeah.
Why not? Watch Flacco light it up a little bit. I love the passing options here for some of these receivers to do some good, man. Josh Downs numbers. Josh Downs look pretty good today. I don't know. Is he playing today?
Who's that?
Josh Downs playing today, or is he out?
Josh Allen?
Josh Downs. He's on the Colts.
Oh, Josh Downs. Yeah, no, he's playing, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Look for him with Flacco.
Flacco's a great play.
Yeah, for Josh Downs and Flacco like that play. I don't even know. I don't know who the tight end is with the what do you call it? Colts. What is it?
Colts tight end?
Yeah, is it Mo Alley Cox?
Big tall guy that
Mo Alley Cox. Yeah.
Yeah, Mo Alley Cox, and then was there Jelani Woods or something?
Yeah, Jelani Woods. Okay. Maybe like anytime touchdown with one of them tight ends, Look for an anytime touchdown with one of them Colts tight ends. And then I got Tyjae Spears versus the Jaguar. I think it's a great spot for Tyjae versus the Jags. Jags defense has played a little bit better, but let me give you a name for the sleeper right now, wide receiver. This is a good name, Adam. I'm really excited about this one. I think I might play a prop of this guy. His name's Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yeah.
He's on the Redskins.
Yeah.
And this is his second revenge game in a row. He had the Eagles big game against his former team, the Eagles, and they spent
2 touchdowns, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. He was on the Eagles last year, and he was drafted by the Falcons and played 4 years with the Falcons. So this guy, he's playing the Falcons today, man.
Nice.
Give me Olamide Zaccheaus over 50 yards receiving today. I know
Yeah,
that's an alt
when they were
line too.
making that comeback, man, Daniels kept throwing to him over and over. It seemed like every time you're like, "Oh, is that McLaurin?" It's like, no, that's Zaccheaus again.
Little revenge game for Zaccheaus again, man. I might play Zaccheaus 50 yards receiving and a touchdown today. I bet you get a nice little return on that one today. All right, sits, Adam.
I don't think I really even had sits this week, too.
No sits.
Truth.
Anybody you would sit off the top of your head? I got 3. I'll go through mine while you think.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me look around.
Zach Ertz versus the Falcons. The Falcons have been real stingy against the tight end. this season. Believe it or not, they've allowed the third least amount of points to the tight end position. Zach Ertz, who I like and has had a decent season for his twilight of his career. He's a sit for me. I think there's better options like Chiga Okonkwo, Jonnu Smith, Ferguson on the Cowboys. And then Devontae Smith versus the Cowboys with Kenny Pickett.
That's what I was going to say.
Yep. All right. We're agreement there. And I got Rico Dowdle versus the Eagles just because he hasn't done much, versus the Bucks and stuff. I think it's going to be tough. If you want to beat the Eagles, you're going to have to throw, and they're going to stop. They're going to stop the run. Kenny Pickett is not good, right? Yeah. He's had another week of practice, but it's a different team with Kenny Pickett than it is with Jalen Hurts.
I'd also be pretty worried about Tyreek Hill. If you got Tyreek Hill, he's questionable. Tua is not playing.
Yeah, good call.
Excellent. You've got another good option. I would definitely consider.
What happened to that guy, man? Last year, great season. This year, just and he was drafted arguably in the first round by people.
Almost everywhere.
First round draft pick. We might as well talk about disappointing draft picks this year. And I would list Tyreek Hill. I'd also list his wide receiver mate, Jalen Waddle, who people were looking for a bargain in the 4th, 5th round, and hasn't done much this season. Can you, off the top of your head, can you think of any players that you drafted or that were drafted that we turned out to be kind of a disappointment this season?
Trying to think off the top of my head. And nobody's totally jumping out at me at the moment. Tyreek Hill is definitely probably the biggest bust from
number one.
From where he was picked at. There's been
because you would pick guys like Terry McLaurin over Tyreek Hill if you're redrafting today.
Oh yeah, I would say Anthony Richardson was the biggest bust probably for a lot of people draft Anthony Richardson like the 4th quarterback, some of them in like the 4th round, That's when I was saying I'd wait for Jaden Daniels on that.
Another good one.
Yeah.
Disappointing pick.
Garrett Wilson, possibly. He's kind of been so, and he was like a 2nd rounder in a lot of leagues.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah.
Arguably didn't do anything this year. I know he was probably like a 10th round pick, 15th round pick, but come on, you got nothing, out of him.
You could never use him.
Yeah. Jake Ferguson has kind of been a disappointment too. He was expected to be pretty good. Dak Prescott would be a big disappointment this season.
That's a good one.
But
DK Metcalf, he's only been so.
And injured, yeah. But when he has played, he's had some big games. But yeah, overall pretty disappointing. And then Tyler Lockett fell off the map and was replaced by JSN. Cooper Kupp, but coming off an injury, arguably. Kyler Murray, terrible season. Right? Kyler Murray was probably picked, maybe the top 10.
I thought he was going to have a great year with Marvin Harrison. That hadn't been anything special at all.
He's off my draft list next year. I will not pick him. I don't care. They're just a bad team,
Hey, McBride finally got a touchdown last night.
Yeah. Though. Yep. That's another, arguably the number 1 tight end in football, maybe, would you say?
Yeah,
Brock Bowers is up there.
Bowers is probably number 1. McBride probably be number 2.
Yeah,
Kittle's right there.
you go looking at week to week. Trey McBride had like maybe 1 week where he scored less than 10. Yeah, there was a lot of
last
15, week, 15 to 25, and then this week he had like 35 points, I think. Just
this was his best week of the whole season. Last week was his worst week of the whole season.
Yeah, exactly.
The semis was his worst week, and the championship was his best week. So.
Yep. Let's see. Trying to think here of
last night the game ended with the ball hitting him in the face in the end zone. He almost had another touchdown, and he had a 35-yard play called back on an illegal man downfield in the 2nd quarter too. There was another 35-yarder that stupid penalty.
If we're talking about disappointing tight ends, maybe Kyle Pitts again. I don't know what it's going to take to unlock this guy. We thought we could have Kirk Cousins. Another disappointment, Kirk Cousins. People were expecting to get him, and maybe
it might just be Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, a lot of it's. I mean, Michael Penix is starting now. Kirk Cousins is healthy. I don't think he really is, though. I mean, he had no leg drive. There was zero zip on his passes. The reason Michael Penix is starting is because he's getting the ball there on time. You know, I mean, Cousins had one game where he had like 5 touchdowns. You were saying, but
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it's been mostly like 5 interceptions over a couple games.
Cousins threw like half of his touchdowns in the 2 Tampa games.
Yeah, in the 2 Tampa games. Yep, because you can't run on Tampa; you've got to throw on them.
Yeah, he had like 800 yards and 8 touchdowns or something, and everything else is a disaster.
List Cousins as a disappointment. I'd also list C.J. Stroud on the Texans. So their offensive line is not as good as last year, but he's definitely in a sophomore slump. Was probably picked pretty high.
I think people got a little overhyped with Stroud last year.
Yep.
This year he's falling back down to earth.
Rookie quarterbacks on the season had a pretty good season. I mean, better than a lot of veterans. If we're looking at players like Bo Nix, had a really good game yesterday. Drake May has looked decent. Might be a decent play next year if they put some players around him. Caleb has been okay in a lost season with a terrible roster around him, a terrible offensive line. He's been able to put up some 20 to 30 point games. And Jaden Daniels, we mentioned, who's been fantastic as a fantasy player. Would you consider maybe waiting on a veteran quarterback and taking one of these rookies next year?
I mean, that's possible for sure. I think this quarterback class has potential to be one of the better ones ever.
I agree.
Like you said, I mean, you've got obviously Caleb shows tons of potential. We've seen Jaden Daniels playing great. Drake May, you just mentioned it. Drake May, I think, looks pretty damn good, really.
I do too.
We still haven't seen J.J. McCarthy yet.
Yep.
And Michael Penix, we've seen for one game, and he looked like he's been sitting there soaking it all in for 14 games. I mean, he looked pretty damn good too.
Bo Nix looks like a veteran.
Bo Nix looks awesome. I mean, and he's the perfect guy for Sean Payton. I think he's one of those guys that hit the right system, and they're coaching him up right, and that's what Caleb needs right now. And
definitely agree. Let's talk a little bit about rookie wide receivers. There's been some guys we mentioned, Brian Thomas Jr. and Rome Odunze. What about Xavier Worthy on the Chiefs? I really like his potential next season. Under Andy Reid. They've been recently in the past few weeks, they've really been making an effort, and I've been capitalizing in DraftKings on rushing and receiving overs because now they're handing him off the ball 3-4 times a game. They're getting him bubble screens and shallow crossers. And then he's also running some fly patterns, and they're hitting him in the end zone. Man, I really love Andy Reid is just a fantastic coach as far as creating plays for guys specifically tailored for them. What do you think about Xavier Worthy next year?
Oh, man, I love him. Yeah, like you just said, that the last month or so, they've really been getting him more involved. They make sure to get him the ball on those end arounds and all kinds of plays. I mean, they just design plays for him, but he's had touchdowns, I think, the last couple of weeks in a row. Yeah, I think he's going to be a very good player next year. I think he'll be getting a lot more targets and manufactured touch, kind of like a mini Deebo Samuel. He's kind of like Deebo, but not quite as big in the size. He doesn't have the strength of Deebo, but he's more explosive. He's faster.
Forget Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but he's faster. He's got Tyreek Hill's speed with Deebo Samuel style. So, again,
any
right system.
Rookie wide receivers you could think of off the top of your head who you've liked what you've seen? Maybe Jalen McMillan.
Malik Neighbors to me is the best still. He's just been in an awful situation. And if they can get a good quarterback out of this draft with the top pick or something, then Malik Neighbors is going to dominate. I mean, he's so good. He already does dominate. They just can't get him the ball accurately, consistently. So
I liked what I've seen from Jalen Coker on the Panthers.
Yeah.
He's got decent size and he's got decent speed. He's got really good hands. I think next year
we talked about.
McMillan we talked about. Jalen Coker on the Panthers. Xavier Legette. That's two nice little players there they've got there in the Panthers. I'm not sure about Bryce Young, although he seemed to have taken a step forward this season in the later half of the season, where he looked like a bust for a while. Yeah. And then rookie tight ends, we mentioned Brock Bowers. Any other rookie tight ends you could think of offhand that you liked what you've seen?
Rookies this year. Bowers obviously is. I mean, he's just immediately the
Brenton
number one tight end,
Strange?
pretty much. He's so good.
Brenton Strange, maybe.
Oh yeah, Strange is good. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Like what we've seen from him.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. I'm drawing a blank on rookie tight ends right now, but
there's a guy. I forget the guy's name on the Chargers. Stone Smart.
oh yeah, Stone Smart.
Smart.
He's been pretty good in limited role there. When you see
decent
him.
little player.
Yeah, he's quite athletic. I like the Philadelphia has a guy Grant Calcaterra that's pretty good.
Yep.
And then I like the Chiefs. These guys behind Kelsey, Gray, and Watson. Man, Gray and Watson look good.
Yeah, Gray. I think if Kelsey decides to hang it up as a sneaky pick next year, at tight end, this guy you could probably get later round. Other than that, I mean, I think you got to go. You got to leave pretty soon. We could wrap it up. I don't see any questions or anything coming in, and I got a lot of stuff to take care of here myself. Any final thoughts on the season? We'll probably do an end of season show with Goon next year. We could be a little bit more focused on some of these players and talk about redrafts and stuff.
Man, I just tell everybody don't overthink it here in the last few minutes. Don't go change anything crazy.
I love your advice you gave me
here.
Yeah, the guy before the show, you said, go ahead, say it again.
Just stick with the studs and the guys that got you here. I mean, you wouldn't be 100%. Here without them. Don't go backing out on them now, even if it's tough.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Just take your chances. And when you get to the playoffs, it's a whole lot of luck. So stick with the guys that got you there and just roll the dice.
100%. All right, bud. Let me see if I have everything loaded.
Congratulations to Joe and the new baby and Catherine. Congratulations, you guys.
Yep. Let me see if he's got this.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, okay, he's got it. Ready to roll it out of here, Adam. Happy New Year for you. We'll see you next year next weekend. Hopefully 2025 is great for all around here at the bar room. And for Adam Sham, Joe Mandel, and Steven Zimmerman, we are out of here. Best of luck today.
Happy New Year, guys.